Farm for Profit Podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm for Profit Podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm for Profit Podcast.
Hey, listeners, welcome back to the Farm for Profit Podcast. This is Tanner.
Corey's here.
And David's here.
Boy, this is going to be tough for me. I feel like I'm the bobblehead today. When you talk, I got to look at you. And
Just don't look at me. You don't need to look at me.
Don't look at you. You're right. I don't need to look at you.
Don't even look at it.
We are bright and early, first thing in the morning, hanging out with the AgX folks here at Commodity Classic 2025.
Yes.
Day two. Right and early in the morning.
It is. This is great. It's weird when your first day is like a quarter of a day.
Yeah.
So this is like the first real day.
Feels like it.
Yeah.
Feels like it. Yeah. Yesterday was, I would call it a soft opening.
Soft opening. That's a good. You are really good with words on this trip.
I know.
I think yesterday everybody just walked around to see what booth they want to visit today.
Yeah. This is a lot of fun. Listeners, we appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with us and for telling all your friends and family. Could you do a little bit more?
What?
Just listeners, tell more of their family.
Oh, yeah.
And their friends.
Yeah. Send it to all your family.
Enemies?
Yep.
We don't care.
Those are the best.
Yep. No, we love topic suggestions, people suggestions, farmforprofitllc@gmail.com. But I don't think anybody else likes this part of the show. I like it.
Yeah. You can also call or text us, 515-207-9640.
Yo 40.
We got a voicemail 2 nights ago that we just can't use. So
No.
I applaud you for trying, but that one's not getting aired.
Yep.
And go to our TikTok page.
Yeah.
Blow it up because it kind of got taken down.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It's all right. It's just social media.
We blame Rachel.
I love it when Rachel doesn't have a mic and you can make fun of her.
It is fun.
It is good. All right, let's get into our guest today. Excited to have a friend of ours.
Yeah. You want me to go?
Go right ahead.
Today on the Farm for Fun show from the 2025 Commodity Classic, we are at the AgXplore booth. We are meeting up with a man so gracious to have us as a guest in his booth. There is one common theme when I talk to all of his employees, and it's how gracious he is and how awesome he is to work for. There's not very many CEOs that we get to interview, so let's learn about his journey today. Please welcome from AgXplore, the CEO, Mr. Tim Gutwine.
Yeah.
Welcome, Tim.
Thank you.
Hey, we got some shysters out there because you just said the phone number and somebody called us.
Oh,
So I want to know who out there just dialed the number.
It's that guy. Look at him. That
It is.
smile back there.
He was doing it. You almost made it on the podcast.
in the mustard vest.
Mustard.
I love that. All right, sorry, Tim. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
Excited?
Absolutely. Good
Pumped
to be
up?
Here. Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Had a great night last night.
Yes, yes.
Up at our, what do you call that, Airbnb? I feel like when you call it a penthouse, it sounds a little bougie.
But it was a little
You are
bougie.
kind of bougie.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. Tanner did. And he's the most frugal one of us all.
Hey, it's what we tell our listeners all the time. If you look at the ROI and make decisions specifically based upon the financial feasibility of what you're going to do, that one VRBO was more economical for Farm for Profit than 5 hotel rooms.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, and we had a special guest last night, LeBron.
Oh, yeah, LeBron James was
LeBron
there.
James was there.
He was. The third.
We pull out all the stops
Yes,
for our partners.
Yes.
Yeah. So maximize your yield potential with John Deere Planter Precision Upgrade Kits. Planting's one of the biggest factors in your farm's success, but we know margins are tight, and a brand new planter might not be in the budget. But that's why John Deere gives you the power to upgrade.
Boost speed with ExactEmerge, optimize product placement with individual row hydraulic downforce, Exact Shot, and Furrow Vision, or enhance efficiency with Exact Rate. Don't forget about the upgrades in LED lighting and the frame weight distribution. Get the latest technology without replacing your planter. Set yourself up for success this planting season. Visit johndeere.com or contact your local dealer today. Tim, this is a Farm for Fun show. It's where we get to learn about people. So we want to learn about you and your journey. So let's go all the way back to Little Tim.
Wow.
Little Tim.
And where'd you grow up and what shaped you? How did you get to this point
Is it
in your
Little
life?
Tim or was it Tiny Tim?
Yeah,
Tiny Tim.
I think it's still Tiny Tim.
He's just bouncing back there.
Wow. So all the way back, my mother and father were missionaries in Thailand.
Wow.
Yeah. And so my mom was riding in a tuk-tuk. I don't know if you guys know what a tuk-tuk is, but it's a little three-wheel like taxi thing that bangs and rides really rough. And she went into labor, and I was born in Thailand.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
I feel like that's made up.
Yeah.
Did you just think of the most outlandish thing
Yes,
you could have started the
yes.
conversation off with?
Is that true?
It's true.
Man, and I thought a tuk-tuk was a hat, but that's a toque?
That's a toque or a toque. Toque
A
up
toque.
in Canada.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
were in Florida a couple of weeks ago, and I had a sock cap on.
Yeah.
And this lady says, where are you from? Nice toque. And I'm like, yeah.
Canada.
But it's not a tuk-tuk
So you
or
were
whatever.
you were abroad when you were born, but where was home?
So we lived in Bangkok for a while, and then we lived actually in a small village in Thailand. It had to take a four-wheel drive and dirt roads and no running water, no electricity. Lived there, homeschooled till I was, I think, 13.
Wow.
And then went to boarding school.
So did you grow up learning English?
Yeah, my family spoke English at home, but I actually learned several languages as a child. So we learned Thai, which is the national language of Thailand. And then we lived in a part of Thailand that's next to the country of Laos, which is near Vietnam. And so I learned a language called Lao or Isan. And then we lived in this village, and they spoke another language. So they spoke a language called So. And then I went to boarding school and lived with the German family. So,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Can you still speak those languages?
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tao, lo, so. Isn't that like a song?
sure.
Sorry.
So then you went to
terrible jokes first thing.
boarding school in Germany?
No, I
Or-
lived with the German family
German-
in Thailand, but went to boarding school.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
What's
then did you
boarding
learn
school
German?
like?
Pardon me?
What's boarding school like?
Well, with the German family, it's different because this guy was like, I remember the first time I sat down to eat and I would have my elbows on the table and he said something in German that I don't know how to say, but basically get your elbows off the table. And so I started to learn. And my mother was really big about manners and stuff, but like this was a whole new level.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's why you're so polite now.
Perhaps, yeah.
This has to be. I'm just trying to figure
So
out where this is
what
all going.
years-
We haven't even gotten out of.
What
we're not even
years
out
are
of
boarding
Thailand yet.
school? Is that like grade school?
Yeah, well, for me, it was like junior high and high school.
Junior high and high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you graduated.
Yeah. And then I went to Columbia, Missouri, went to Mizzou.
So you went from Thailand to Missouri.
Thailand to Mizzou.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not even sure how that happened. They must have felt sorry for me and just let me into Mizzou.
So, are you speak English and were born abroad? So does that make you a U.S. citizen?
So interestingly, I was actually born with a Thai and a U.S. citizenship, and I relinquished my Thai citizenship when I turned 18 because they might have drafted me into the Thai army, which was not a cool thing at the time.
No.
Because
That's
that
not
was
cool today.
Yeah, no, it's not cool. Like
Yeah.
I likely would have seen combat.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Says all the makings for a Hangover movie.
Oh, it
Right?
could.
Bangkok,
Yeah.
Thailand. All right, fair enough.
So
Okay.
is your family in the U.S. now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So mom and dad retired from that 20 years ago, and they live in Columbia, Missouri.
You got any siblings?
I do, an older brother and a younger brother, which is probably also why I'm gracious because I had it coming from both sides. Right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's neat. So you came back to Missouri, went to college. What'd you go to college for?
Finance and banking.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought I wanted to be a computer scientist. Turns out I'm not that smart. So I went into finance.
That's why you and Tanner get along so
Yeah.
well.
We do. We hit it off right away in the beginning. Absolutely.
So did you go right into banking after college?
I did. Went into the mortgage business and then became a commercial loan officer at a bank. That bank was bought by Edward Jones. I went to work for Edward Jones, which is a financial services company.
Yeah.
And that got me to Southeast Missouri, which is how I met the guy that started AgXplore. And we started talking and just felt like there's some synergy between the two of us. And so we kind of went into business together and grew the company. And then back in 2018, I bought him out.
Did you have any agriculture background before joining an agriculture company?
No, not really, other than my mother made me toil in the garden as a child.
toil.
Yes, toil. Yes.
What do you
Is
do?
that like
what do you do when
tillage?
you toil in the garden?
I don't know. It's just horrible. That's the main thing.
So do you have a garden today?
No.
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 Didn't leave that lasting of an impression, huh?
It left a lasting impression. I
It
don't want a
was-
garden.
It was that
Yeah.
lasting, yes.
So you bought him out in 2018.
Correct.
When did you start partnering with him?
2006.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you were
at
in
the
it for a
time,
while.
Yeah, the time I joined him, the company started in 1999. We had about 5 employees when I joined the company. Just doing a little bit of business here and there. I joined the company and started growing the sales force. And then in 2018, he just, I think he'd had enough and decided he wanted to move on to other things. And so we
That makes sense.
made a deal.
So you must have loved the financial background of or going into the company. That's what drew you in?
That and I think at my core, I'm a salesperson, right? I like sales.
Yeah.
I like interacting with people. I like the thrill of selling and bringing value to people.
When you came on in 2006, what was the scope of AgX at that time compared to where it is now?
Sure, 5 employees and a tiny warehouse, and we were selling to a few farmer dealers. And today we have about 80 employees. We sell all over the country. We do business in Canada, some South American countries, a little bit in Europe.
Similar products?
The portfolio has changed a lot. In fact, since I acquired the company with the help of Gunther, we've pretty much completely revamped the portfolio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I know I was selling for a competitor in 2010, and I remember AgXplore being a pain in my butt. So that's why I wanted to come.
It's probably me.
Yeah, help you guys. So, I respected it.
Yeah.
That you were that back then. It wasn't just one of these other companies that popped up in the last 5 years, in this crazy market that we're in. So
Absolutely.
So did you buy the company or take it over for the entrepreneurial insight that this is 5? I could make it 100.
That's where it started. What's happened over the last 5 or 6 years is I've become really close with the people that I get to work with every single day, really close with our customers, and now it's really just become a passion for the people and the value that we can bring to our customers. And so, it started off as a financial play, and now it's just a passion that I have for people.
Corey, that's farming. They start off with a passion, and then they have no financial play.
right.
It's in reverse.
Yeah.
Coming from a non-farm background and then just jumping in whole hog, what's your favorite part about agriculture?
The people. I came from finance, and everything had to be buttoned down, tied down. They had a form for everything. And what I love about agriculture is we can look at somebody, we can shake their hand, make a deal, and that's good enough.
Right.
In our business, and I love that about agriculture.
Yep. You said the scope of the company back in 2006. Where are you at right now?
We have about 80 employees. We're all across the United States, primarily east of the Rocky Mountains. We do some business in Canada. I'm trying to think where else we are. We're a little bit in like Turkey and some other South American countries.
What's wrong with west of the Rocky Mountains?
Well, so great question. We've made an attempt at going west, and we didn't get the right people on that team, and so we just decided to kind of stick with where we are.
Yeah.
For the most part, we do business, actually a fair bit of business in Montana.
Okay.
Good state.
Yeah.
And most of the business is through retailers?
Yes. About 75% or more of our business goes through what we would call a retailer. So a retailer for us is anybody that sells stuff to farmers. So, if a farmer buys their seed, their fertilizer, whatever they're buying as inputs for their crops, that's a really good prospect for us as far as the customer is concerned.
Yep. And like I said in my intro, every one of the employees that I've talked to at AgX says almost a similar story, that you always give back and you're so gracious to them, and it's got this amazing atmosphere. Where did you learn that, and how did you shape that into your leadership?
Well, so a couple of things come to mind when you ask that question. First of all, I believe that as human beings, we're called to treat each other well. I think we're called to care for each other. The Bible talks about the least of these, right? The widows and orphans. And so I think we're just called as human beings to care for other people. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, without the people that I get to work with every single day, we wouldn't be successful. Most days I wake up and I don't know how stuff gets made and put on a truck, because we have people that are that good. The marketing and all the things, the accounting, our customers say so many good things about our team members, from accounting to production, the quality of the product, when the product arrives. It's just, I don't know why, but we have been fortunate to just have such a phenomenal team.
Yeah, we were having lunch the other day when your team came up to see the studio and hang out, and I point blank asked him, I said, how does Tim get you to run through a wall for AgX? And they just...
He did.
Yeah, literally the answer was just, he's selfless. He would do anything for us. If I needed something, I know I can count on him. I mean, how cool is that, to build an atmosphere, to build a what's the word I'm looking for? A culture within the company that literally your employees would do anything for you, but it's because you've demonstrated that you'd do anything for them.
Yeah, and you know what's so spectacular about this? A month or so ago, we had a power outage due to a winter storm, and one of the ladies posted in a text message or someplace, "Hey, does anybody know where I can get a generator?" And literally, just people from the team just somehow made a generator happen for her. it's just that sort of culture within our company. And yesterday we had a little bit of a round table prior to coming to the show, and there's maybe 10 of us sitting at this round table, and there were just no egos at the table. Everybody was there brainstorming, throwing out great ideas for the betterment of the team, for the betterment of the company.
I did that this morning. I DoorDashed for everybody. Betterment of all of us. It was like $80 McDonald's. We're getting it. We got it.
Thanks for cooking, Dave.
Through a wall for the team. I mean,
it was the first eggs we've had on the trip because we can't
find
those anywhere.
We can't find eggs anywhere. But yeah,
it was nice to have that because yesterday was just sausage and bacon, which isn't bad.
So you got what I want. What I want is a team that I don't even have to worry about, to where I can go skiing and it works. Tanner's kind of got that. See, I don't even know how they make the podcast happen. I just show up and talk.
Yeah,
it's kind of nice.
Which you're good at, by the way.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Jeez, don't make his head too big.
Was the leadership aspect natural for you, or did you have to develop that?
Definitely had to develop it. I think I'm a natural leader in the sense that people often do the things that I came up with, which wasn't good when I was a child. So we got into some mischief at times. Usually I was the guy kind of directing traffic and staying out of the way. But then as in my professional life, for whatever reason, I've been fortunate enough to be surrounded by people that want to do what we're doing, and I think one of the things that maybe I do pretty well is I kind of come up with an idea and kind of point in a certain direction, and then the team is so much better at coming up with the details, right? I don't say, hey, we're going to do this and all the little details that come into it, but just say, hey, we want to go that direction, and then they come up with the best way to get there.
You make the vision board, and they make the strategic objectives to get to the goal.
Absolutely.
I can tell when you give Zach those orders because he's just all over the place.
Your phone's ringing.
Bing, 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 bing,
ding, 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 ding.
Unless it's after 5 o'clock.
I got a text message at 8 a.m. this morning saying, hey, don't forget.
Hey, it's good to have people like that.
Yes.
I told these guys this morning, I'm like, who are we interviewing? They're like, Tim, the CEO. And I'm like, well, Rachel doesn't know who the CEO is, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's that, right?
there is that. But then I thought, well, he's so serious. This is a Farm for Fun episode. We got to dig deeper. So past the company, past the CEO, who are you? What do you like to do? Married, kids? What do you do?
Well, so
what's with the crazy shoes and multiple watches and all that jazz? What's all that about?
Yeah, so
you just asked like 30
I'm married.
questions.
I'm married. I have 2 adult children and 1 grandson and 1 on the way that should arrive any time now.
Oh, congrats!
Which is just phenomenal. Mm-hmm. So that's good. As far as fun, we live out in the country. We like to ride bicycles. Last year, Dana and I did a half marathon.
What?
Yeah. I don't know why. I think it's fun when you stop or something. So anyway, we ran a half marathon. This week we were supposed to go down to Manitou Springs and do the Manitou Incline. Google it; it's insane. We did it last year; it was fun. Wanted to do it this time, but I injured myself, so that's not going to happen. So.
The Manitou Incline.
What is that?
I don't know. He said Google it.
13 point some miles, probably.
It's a 2,000-foot elevation gain in about 3/4 of a mile.
Oh, wow.
It's like this.
Oh. Does it look like a ski slope?
Yeah, it kind of starts
I've
off a
seen
little
TikTok.
bit. Yeah.
Is that like on all fours?
Part of it is.
By the time you get to the top, there's a rope that helps.
Well, there's not a rope, but they're railroad ties. It's 2 up and then 1 forward, 2 up and 1 forward. It's and also for us like low altitude people, it starts off at 6,500 feet and goes to 8,500 feet. So by the time you get up there, you want to die.
Yeah.
You want to die.
Man. Dave asked about your watches.
Well, so I wear an Apple Watch on this wrist, and when I'm training, I wear a Garmin on this wrist just because I like the
data
that the Garmin gathers. And I think the day you guys came to visit us, I had on the Garmin, although I wasn't training, because I was trying to get some.
You said that your baseline.
Some baseline stuff to help me, which, by the way, doesn't make me better, right? It's something that makes me think I'm making progress.
But it makes sense, right? You were in finance and you loved all the metrics and all that, so you're geeking out, right?
But I learned a long time ago that doesn't make me faster.
It just makes you more aware.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So you live in the country. I did some homework on you. I hear you like to build potato guns.
We do.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, so version 1 of the potato gun wasn't so great. And Bryce was sort of literally the brunt end of that thing. So as the night wore on, we were shooting potatoes, and then we decided, well, why not shoot other things out of the potato gun? Well, so as we started putting more and more stuff into the barrel of the potato gun, it started having more and more recoil, and at some point it smashed into his face, and he got a special trip to the ER.
So are you guys like pneumatic potato guns?
Well,
are you hairspray potato guns? Are you oxyacetylene potato guns?
Pneumatic. And so then my son built version 2.
Okay.
And I don't know how far that thing will launch a potato, but it's a long way.
You guys built potato guns?
So yes, I got a good story when you get through. Or you want to know? I built one out of PVC, and it was the hairspray version.
Schedule 40, or did you use the gray pipe? Schedule 60, 80?
Is 40. Schedule 40.
You got to go 80. Okay, fair enough.
So my thought was, I put a sling on it so I could like hold it.
Yeah,
and then
bazooka style.
I had the grill igniter, so you just like whack, you just slapped it.
Boom.
I stepped outside the shop and shot it towards my bins, and you know where my bin's like 100, 125 yards. It put a dent in the bin.
Oh, Jesus. How fresh was that
Dad
potato?
was pissed.
Dad was pissed.
Now you need to build those pumpkin and watermelon trebuchets.
Yes.
And just launch those.
Yes.
See, I made one out of Schedule 80, and we had to take the back off.
To reload it?
But I was I used Rave. Rave hairspray is like the most
best.
flammable.
Like the 80s like mall hair.
Exactly.
Have you seen Dave's hair?
We tried like every type of hairspray.
He uses Rave hairspray.
Even Rachel got mousse, man. She never heard of mousse before, but we were schooling her on that. But yeah, Rave hairspray, that was the ticket.
Is it the purple can? I don't even know, right?
It is, and it was so much better.
He's well versed on hair
like
products.
5 seconds is all you need. Twist that back on. Good to go.
Yep. Gosh, I feel like we should have a contest or something.
We should have, yeah.
I was concerned that at some point the potato gun would like just blow up in somebody's face, so we kind of parked it for the time being.
It did blow up in somebody's face.
Kind of did.
Somebody other than Bryce.
But that's another cool thing. When we came down to meet you guys for the first time, you were your hospitality was above and beyond. You definitely want to take care of the employees like we've talked about, but you treat your customers the same way.
Yeah.
You open your home up.
Yeah. So Gunny, when he comes to the home office, he lives in Indiana. The home office is in Missouri. When he comes, he generally stays at my house, and we never leave the kitchen, right? We just hang out in the kitchen and talk, and that's just where we spend time together. And I thought, what if we just did that with our customers, right? And so that's sort of the model that we built. You guys experienced it.
Oh, yeah.
And something happens when you're sitting at a conference table that is completely different than what happens when you're standing around the kitchen table, enjoying home-cooked food, which Amanda does such a fantastic job with.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
With taco bar.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the things we talked about when we were there is like how AgX wants and is like the gold standard in plant nutrition, but maybe people don't know that. Like, what message do you want to go out to, like, so we got the CEO right here. Right. You got the mic. What do you want to tell the whole world that listens to Farm for Profit podcast?
Wow. So once you get past seed, fertilizer, and chemical, right, the question is, what can a farmer do to really manage their crop? And our product development team has built such a phenomenal portfolio, and we've done so much research that depending on the geography, depending on the crop, depending on the stress factors that are involved, we have stuff that will increase your ROI. We've proven that time and time again. We do so much research. I couldn't tell you how many hundreds of plots we do every single year, but with the end game being we have to understand how to bring value to a farmer.
So there's over, I don't know how many, do you know how many vendors are here? 300+?
Oh, a lot.
800?
There's got to be.
So there's lots of people that do the same thing you do.
Yeah.
What makes you better? What's the elevator pitch? We got 9 seconds on that elevator last night. What is it?
Yeah, so there's 300 people here. We all have products, right? And I don't know if ours are better than everybody else's. I think they are. I think we can prove that. But what makes us better is our team. Because if you use...
It's people.
Exactly.
Agriculture's people.
It doesn't matter what the tool is, right? If it's a hammer or a screwdriver, if you don't use it properly, it's not going to be effective. And so that's the key. Our people are just so immersed in these products. They're so serious about bringing value to the customer that they know how to use the tool. They make the right recommendation at the right time. Otherwise, we're just wasting people's money.
I do like the way that you put that. I mean, that's one of the things that brings our audience value is the fact that we try to disseminate to the best of our abilities and as unbiased as we can information for them to go learn, because sometimes it's scary to walk up to a booth and have a conversation with somebody and ask the hard questions.
Mm-hmm.
We can ask the surface level, but to really get into it and break down what's the meat and potatoes.
That's right.
See what I did there?
Potato gun.
Yep.
I was just thinking we need a shirt that says "I'm the tool" for Corey.
I am a tool.
I don't know. I don't know about that. It's a miss, Dave. That's a miss.
It's a miss. Swing and a miss.
He'd rather have it on a hat.
I mean, you probably could sport a shirt that said "Tool" on it.
Bottom of the ninth, down by 3. Bases loaded, full count.
So
2 outs.
So as you obviously you enjoyed physical activity, being outdoors. You got a favorite snack?
A favorite snack.
Ooh.
So I love sweets of any kind, but chocolate chip cookies fresh out of the oven with a glass of milk.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty high.
That's good.
Have you ever been to the Iowa State Fair?
I have not.
They have a bucket of chocolate chip cookies
do.
that is to die for.
It is. I don't understand how they do it, but
It's
They made a
Barksdale.
permanent building there.
They're even
What are
good.
the dates?
It's middle of August.
Can we get that on my
Yeah,
calendar?
middle of August.
Yeah,
Middle of
second,
August.
second week of August.
Yeah,
There's
let's
more
get that
fried
on the
food
calendar.
there. Mercy.
Are
Yeah.
we still going to do the World
So-
Fair?
The World's Fair.
Yeah.
Oh,
wasn't that
If
supposed to be?
they're that's right. No, the bicentennial of the
United
US.
States? Yeah. I haven't heard anything about that lately.
So speaking of the Iowa State Fair, so a few years ago, my daughter and I were in Alaska, and I don't know what I thought state fairs would be like in Alaska, but we drove by, and it just still smelled like fried food.
Really?
So
That's
apparently
cool.
it's a thing everywhere.
Hey,
I never thought about Alaska
Yeah.
having a state fair.
They do.
how often do you think about Alaska?
Is it in Anchorage?
Do they show
Yeah,
like
well,
polar
outside
bears?
of Anchorage, maybe Wasilla. I don't know.
Okay.
Someplace.
Yeah.
It's a big state.
It's right at the
somewhere up
port
there.
there.
It's a big state. I showed our metrics to somebody yesterday, and they're like, "You have listeners in Alaska?" Like, we do. So shout out to Alaska.
There's people in Alaska. Yeah.
There's people there. Yes.
Yeah.
You know what else was crazy? We went to a farmer's market, and their produce is insanely large. Like bell peppers and cucumbers and tomatoes. It's just insanely large. And I don't know if that's just a function of what farmers markets are like, or if it's because of the growing conditions. I have no idea, but it was just really fascinating.
Probably had AgX products on it.
No doubt.
Probably.
So as you've come into leadership through the company, do you get to get out in the field? Do you do some of the ground truthing? Do you walk fields and scout and help out, or you let the team do that?
I let the team do. I go out with them,
Yeah.
but because I love being out of the office and out in the field with the people. But in terms of actually like looking at the crops and stuff like that, they're much better at that than I am.
What we should do, we should go around to everybody that's here with a camera, and we should ask them what the weirdest thing they found in the field.
Like an item?
Yeah, sure. You know, obviously, I assume everybody's found a horseshoe.
Yeah, I have.
What?
Several of those.
You haven't found a horseshoe in a field?
I've never found a horseshoe.
The number of farms that you've sold, I guess.
He
Walk
probably
in a
doesn't
farm,
go out
drone.
and walk them. He just
Yes.
flies his
I
drone.
mean, have you seen what he wears? Like, does this guy really go in the
Yeah.
I've found a couple times a corn plant growing through a cob. Have you ever found
Nice.
that out in the field? I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like the power of that little tiny plant
Yeah.
that goes right through the middle of the cob.
I'm always blown away by the things that field cultivator sweeps can find. Like, how did
Tires.
that... How did that even hook on there?
Oh yeah, like the little rings from
Yeah.
the horses
Like,
and all
how,
that. Yep.
how did it even get on to where it was at? Like, it's so perfect, can't get it off.
That's
Gotta
crazy.
switch show.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So as you sit here for the rest of the show, you get to wander around, you hanging out in the booth?
Both have some meetings, wandering around, catching up with friends.
Do you get to come to shows very often?
I go to 2 or 3 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds
this
nice.
is this is good.
So do we.
This is two or
Just
three.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
A month.
What
A month.
What do you think 5-10 years down the road for AgXplore looks like?
I think better penetration in the markets that we're in. We continue to work on our portfolio. Our portfolio, I think 60 or 70% of our revenue that we got last year is from products we didn't have 5 years ago.
Really?
So we have to stay cutting edge. We have to bring the best products to market.
Is there any area that you're excited about for new products?
I believe the biggest opportunity is plant nutrition. So we have 3 portfolios of products. We have nitrogen management products, we have adjuvants, and then we have plant nutrition. And I think plant nutrition represents the biggest growth opportunity for both for us and for the farmers out there, and the best ROI opportunity for folks. And we all know farming's tough, right?
Yeah.
I think we were talking about this last night, Dave. How a lot of guys, just tried to manage how much they were going to lose last year as opposed to trying to make money, right? Is how do we not lose so much money? And so, during difficult times in particular, I think the products that we offer really represent an opportunity for folks to either minimize the losses or to maximize the gains.
Right. So piggybacking on one of Dave's questions from earlier, you said there's like 300 people here and they all have good products and all that. Like, how important and how much emphasis do you guys put into these formulations, like making sure it's the right mix and it's the product sourced? I mean, I'm sure they're sourcing some of their nutrients from the same places that you are.
Yeah. I think you can divide companies up into kind of two sectors. There's a lot of companies out there that actually source their products that they sell from someone else, so they don't actually make them themselves. So at that point, you lose control, right? Or maybe you're just getting something that everybody has for sale, so you really don't have something different or unique or special. We have a really robust product development process. We have laboratories and equipment and testing. We test products so thoroughly before we send them out to the field. And so I think that's what really sets us apart, is when we put something in a jug and we tell you when to use it and how to use it, the probability of it performing well is really, really high.
Where have you guys been?
We just got back from the Custom Harvesters event where operators from across the country couldn't stop talking about Steinbauer performance modules.
Yeah, they're seeing up to 25% more power, better fuel efficiency, all with smarter injector duration and not altering the rail pressure for safe and reliable performance.
If you're looking to maximize your machine's potential, go to steinbauer.us and tell them Farm for Profit sent you to get yours today.
Good. Yeah, we got to go into the lab.
Yeah, we did.
They gave us a tour of that.
Yep.
I was scared to touch anything.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't know if I accidentally tip a bottle over, if it'd be the end of it.
Yeah.
No, that was cool. It was. The light in there though was pretty blinding.
Yeah, it was bright.
Pretty intense.
It was. Yeah, but that was cool to see the facilities. Like I said, when you guys opened your door to us, and when it came down, that was second to none. The experience, the hospitality that you put out, that was really neat.
Yeah, and that's something that we hear from customers. We bring customers in who do business with competitors, so back to the 300 that are here. Over and over and over, we hear people saying we are so impressed with the way you guys build product, with the quality control that you guys have in place, and even the way you develop products.
Tim, one thing I saw when we were there is Gunny was talking to us about like custom formulas for this, way over my head.
Yeah.
He's crazy plant scientist. And he'd like, well, we should do this, and this, and you guys would test it. Like, now as a business guy, he wants to go plant scientist. I'm running a company. How do we merge those two? Because we can't be specific to just because Corey wants this plant variety. Or maybe we can. I don't know. Maybe we can make a specific for Corey and a specific for Zach and a specific for Tanner. But eventually, me as a business guy, I'm thinking, man, the ROI on that we can't customize for everybody. Yeah. We have to keep it somewhat, have a mission. You said that your products, that you're like 60% of your products now are what weren't in the years past. So as you look forward, how do we keep custom that I noticed that you guys have, but still build the business?
So here's what I would say to that. Custom is great. It's not our bread and butter. Okay, and we do some custom work, but I'm going to tell you this. The research that we do, the product development that we do, when we put our name behind something, the probability of it working is so much higher. If you come to me and say, hey, can you build this? Sure, we'll build it, right? But is it going to perform? Maybe, maybe not, right? But when we build a product and we test the product and we tell you it's going to work, it's because we know it's going to work. We've tested it from north to south, east to west. We've tested it on different crops. We've tested it on different seed varieties. We've tested it different application timings. We know when to use it. We know how to use it. We know how to make sure that you're going to get a return on investment.
And I'm guessing you have to do that testing to stay forward, to stay fresh, stay new, and come up with new products for it. But you have your base product for portfolio, I guess. Okay, fair enough.
Do you have a favorite product?
Wow, I think right now is probably Architect.
Is that because it makes you the most money? Or it performs the best?
Yeah, it performs the best.
It performs the best.
Oh, that was good. Well, this was a pleasure. This was a cool way to start the day off.
Absolutely.
We do a great job of doing our history and our background.
You need a back pat for that?
I don't do this. I don't do this.
I didn't even look at this thing. What do you got here?
No, what I was getting ready to say is we do a great job of trying to get as much information on our guests that we could. And you blew me away right away in the beginning with falling out in a tuk-tuk or whatever it was. So, no, it was neat. I'm glad that you were able to share that with us, with our audience. I always enjoy getting to know the people. And like Corey said in his intro, we don't get to talk to CEOs very often.
Yeah.
And for that case, our audience don't get to hear from CEOs very often. So it's kind of cool.
And thank you very much for working with us and having us here as your guest.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you for the partnership we have with you guys. Enjoy you guys as human beings, just hanging out together and getting to know you guys personally. I think you guys make agriculture fun. I mean, obviously it's farm for profit.
That's what we're trying to do.
Guys do.
But I think you guys do a really good job of blending like good content and humor and all that. But
it's just real.
That's
just real. We're just real people out here. That's all we're trying to do. So
that's cool.
Not the most polished in the world, but
by far, we are not. That's good.
I wonder what product we will have them make with our name on it. That's.
Oh, we've already got an idea. Remember?
I know.
Do we?
Yeah.
Gunny?
Yeah.
All right.
A little teaser for down the road.
Teaser, is that what you're calling it?
All right, Corey, why don't you wrap us up? Send us out.
Crack a cold one. You deserve it.